When we're adding any expenses against cases in Alert Stratus, I can choose to do so from our time entry and calendar portal. I can do so from the expenses entity if I wish, or I can choose just to manually open the case I'd like to add the expense to. I'll select the expense items entity here, and then here I'll see a list of all of the expense items related to this hardware malfunctioning case, and I'll click here in the ribbon bar to add a new expense item. So first we have our expense date. I can choose to change this here if I wish. We have our select product, so I can choose to write in the type of expense here, or I can select existing, and then I'll just select the expense right from our product table in CRM. So it already knows the type of cost code, it knows the unit type that we're dealing in. I can choose to append this to a project task if I wish, and because I open this expense item right from our case, it's already going to bring over our case here for us. So the next thing we decide is if this is going to be billable to our customer, and if it's going to be reimbursable to our resource. Next we have our pricing information, so I can choose to use the default pricing from our hotel product code here, or I can choose to override the price where I'll manually put in the price. I can choose the quantity. Next I'll add the resource who's adding this expense item, and then I'm going to save it. So I've now just added this expense against this case. You'll see that it's putting out my expended amount here for us, and you'll also notice down here that it's adding this expense to Tom Wilson's weekly expense sheet. So if I drill down to that from here, this is a very useful tool for administrators or supervisors or perhaps someone in management who needs to have a quick snapshot of this person's weekly expense sheet so that they can very quickly take a look at all the expenses that they're submitting per this week. They can scroll over and see exactly what the expenses are, how much is going to be billable, and how much is going to be reimbursable to the resource. So the resource never has to update this weekly expense sheet. All they have to do is just submit the expenses for each activity or for each project or case, and they'll all automatically populate on their weekly expense sheet here.